Alright. Are you going to stay on the bed? Here. You go out. Alright, so for the 31st. Oh, Abby. No. Just sit down now. Alright, for the 31st, for A Year Full of Stories, we have Molly the Kitten. Miss Penny was an author. She had written lots of books for children, but today Miss Penny was having trouble writing one word. It was all because of Molly the Kitten. Miss Penny has brought Molly from the pet shop a few days ago. And since the new kitten has arrived, she hardly had any time for writing stories. First, Molly needed feeding for hours. She will need a little to eat and drink often. The man in the pet shop advised after meals Molly uses her litter box, so Miss Penny had to keep that clean and fresh. Then there was playtime. Miss Penny would roll a ping pong ball along the floor and watch Molly chase after it. Or Molly would pounce on a piece of paper, pretending to catch a mouse. When Molly tried to play, when Molly tired of playing, she wanted to cuddle and sleep. Miss Penny spent a lot of time with the kitten curled up on her lap. But today Miss Penny was trying to write a story. Once upon a time, she typed on her computer. Then Molly pounced on her foot. Ouch! She cried. Then the kitten had sharp claws. Miss Penny tried again. Once upon a time there was. Molly jumped on the desk. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter-pat. Went her paws on the pencil until they rolled off the desk. One by one, clatter, clatter, clatter. Miss Penny stopped and picked them up. Molly, I'm trying to work, she said. Now, where was I? Miss Penny stared at her computer screen to see what she had written. Once upon a time there was, she read. There was what? Asked Miss Penny. For once, she couldn't think what to say next. She looked up at the ceiling, she looked down at the floor, and then she looked at Molly. I know, she said. Which is how Miss Penny, the author, came to write a rather special story. Can you guess what it was called? That's right, Molly, the Kitten. And you've just read it. Oh, Molly the Kitten. So that was our last day of August, August the 31st. So let's do the months of the year, all right? Let's do it on our hands so that we know how many days are in a month. January, there's 31. February, there's 28 or 29. March, there's 31. April, there's 30. May, there's 31. June, there's 30. July, there's 31. August, the month we're in right now, has 31 days. September has 30 days. October has 31 days. November has 30 days. And December has 31 days. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Everyone has their own personal calendar on their knuckles, right? So every top knuckle is 31 days. Every bottom inseam is 30 days or less, right? Because February has less than 30. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. January, once again, 31 days. February, 28 or 29 days. March, 31 days. April, 30 days. May, 31 days. June, 30 days. July, 31 days. August, 31 days. September, 30 days. October, 31 days. November, 30 days. And December, the last month of the year, there is 31 days. How amazing is that? Let's move into our storybook for the day. Alright, it says The Hedgehog and the Rabbit. Mama's never heard this story either, I don't think. Let's find out. This is a lying story, my children, but it's true just the same. For my grandfather, who told it to me, used to say, "It must be true, my child, or else how could one tell it, after all?" But this is the way the story goes. It happened on the Buxterhender Heath. Buxteheuder. Buxterhender Heath. On a Sunday morning at harvest time. Just as the buckwheat was coming into flower, the sun was climbing up into the heavens. A breeze blew gently over the stable. Larks trailed in the sky, bees buzzed in the buckwheat, and everybody was going to church in their Sunday best. In short, all creatures, great and small, were contented. And the hedgehog was too. The hedgehog, he was standing in his doorway with his arms crossed on his chest, pointing his nose to the wind and singing a little tune. This is as good or as bad a tune as a hedgehog might be expected to sing on a lovely Sunday morning. While he was humming continuously to himself in a charming fashion, a thought came into his head. "Well, my wife is busy washing and brushing the little ones," he thought. "I might as well go for a Sunday stroll and take along my little turnip patch." The turnip patch was in the field next to his house and belonged to a farmer. But because the hedgehog and his family had fallen into the habit of eating there, they had come to think it was their own. Well, no sooner said than done. The hedgehog closed the door after him and sauntered down the road. But just as he reached the blackthorn bush, which grew beside the turnip patch, he met a rabbit who was out on the same business. This is to say, he was to come to see how his garden and the cabbage patch was getting along on this fine day. So did you see what just happened there? A farmer owns a field, and there's a hedgehog going, "Well, I'm going to go eat my turnips." And the bunny goes, "I'm going to go see how my cabbage patch is doing." They both took ownership of this field. It's not theirs, but they think it is. That's so cute. Bowing and smiling, the hedgehog wished the rabbit a pleasant good morning. But the rabbit, who was a grand gentleman in his own community, and most haughty about it, too, this rabbit did not return the hedgehog's neighborly greeting. Instead, he said with a mocking air, "And how do you happen to be running around in this field so early on a Sunday morning?" "It's such a fine Sunday," said the hedgehog. "I'm just out for a little stroll." "A stroll," jeered the rabbit. "I should think you could put your legs to better use than that." This remark wounded the hedgehog beyond words. Oh no. Did you see what just happened there? The rabbit was a little rude, and the hedgehog took it to heart. In this life, people are going to say and do a lot of things to you. And you can't expect anything from anybody else, right? So if someone says or does something mean to you, don't take it that much to heart. You have to have thicker skin than that. But this poor hedgehog, he didn't. He took it to heart. So let's go back to what he said. "So, I'm just out for a fine Sunday," said the hedgehog. "I'm just out for a little stroll." "A stroll?" He's being mean because he jeered, right? So he's like, "A stroll," jeered the rabbit. "I should think you could put your legs to better use than that." He's being hurtful on purpose. This remark wounded the hedgehog beyond words, for he was very sensitive about his legs, which were short and somewhat cropped. So now he bristled up and cried and cried in fur and cried in fury, "Oh, yes, you must think that my legs—" Oh, sorry. So, now he bristled up and cried in fury. So the hedgehog got angry back with the... Instead of taking it with love and kindness, he took it for what the rabbit said to him. He got angry, right? He said, "Oh, yes, you must think that your legs are better than mine." "That's exactly what I think," replied the rabbit, calmly. "Yes, that's what you think," cried the hedgehog. "But I'll wager that I can run a race, I'd win it. I wager that if I could run a race, I'd win it." "That's a joke," cried the rabbit. "You with your stumpy little legs. However, if you are so bent on making a fool of yourself, I'll take you on. What shall be the prize for the winner?" "A golden coin and a bottle of brandy," said the hedgehog. "Agreed," cried the rabbit. "Get in line and let's start." "Oh, no." "Hurry about it," said the hedgehog carelessly. "Oh, no, hurry about it," said the hedgehog carelessly. "I haven't even had breakfast yet." "You get the prize. I'll be right back here on the same spot in half an hour." With that, they parted, for the rabbit was satisfied with this plan. On the way home, the hedgehog was busy with his thoughts. The rabbit will depend upon his long feet. His long, fleet legs, he thought. "My legs are, well, they're neither long nor fleet, but I'll beat him to it all the same. He may be a grand gentleman, yes, but he's an old muddled noodle, and as for me, I'm not so smart as I may look." Upon reaching home, the hedgehog said to his wife, "Come, hurry and get yourself ready. I need you out in the field." "What's going on then?" asked his wife. "Oh, nothing much. I told the rabbit I would run a race with him, and I'd like to have you around while it's going on." "My heavens, man," cried his wife. "Are you out of your head? How could you ever hope to win a race against a rabbit?" "No words, wife," cried the hedgehog sternly. "That's my business. Don't poke your nose into men's affairs. March along now. Are you ready?" What could the wife do? She had to obey whether she wanted to or not. That's very true. Whether you want to or not, sometimes as a woman, if you have a husband, it's just best to obey. She had to obey whether she wanted to or not. And as they waddled along side by side, the hedgehog said to her, "Now listen well to what I'm telling you. In the big field is where we'll run the race. The rabbit and I see those long, deep furrows?" "Yes," said the wife, "but—" "Silence," cried the husband, and then continued, "The rabbit, of course, will run in one furrow, and I in the next. And we'll start over there at the upper end of the field. Now, all you have to do is to sit at the lower end of my furrow. Understand? Don't move from that place. Just sit there quietly. And when you hear the rabbit coming along, just pop up your head and say, 'Here, I am all ready.'" So what is this hedgehog planning to do? He's planning to cheat. So that's the way it was done. The hedgehog left his wife hiding in the lower end of his furrow, had a final meeting with the rabbit, and 1, 2, 3, off they went like a whirlwind down the field. That is the rabbit did. The hedgehog only ran a few steps, then ducked down in his furrow and crouched there out of sight, as quiet as a mouse. The rabbit ran for his life, his ears flopping in the wind. He thought he was doing remarkably well, But as he neared the lower end of the field, someone cried, "Here I am already!" The rabbit couldn't believe his ears, and when he looked over into the next furrow, he could hardly believe his eyes either. What he saw, of course, was the hedgehog's wife, but since she looked exactly like her husband, the rabbit couldn't tell the difference between them. Well, it's the hedgehog after all, he thought. Just the same, I don't like the looks of the whole thing. Then, still panting for breath, he cried, "Another race the other way around," and off he went, so fast that it was a wonder his ears stayed on his head. The hedgehog's wife didn't move. She still stayed quietly on the lower end of the furrow. In a twinkling of a half, the rabbit had returned to the upper end of the furrow. Yet there sat the hedgehog calling, "Here I am already." There they are. The rabbit, now almost out of his head with fury, cried out wildly, "Another race! To the other way around again!" "As often as you wish, for all I care," said the hedgehog. Back and forth went the rabbit, back and forth, then back and forth again, but always when he reached the end of the furrow, it was the same old story. There sat the hedgehog calling, "Yoo-hoo! Here I am already!" 73 times he tried, this racing rabbit, but at the 74th try he had to give up. His legs folded under him, his ears flopped sideways over his head, and then with his breath coming in weary gasps, he sank down in his furrow and lay there with closed eyes. The hedgehog picked up the prize and called his wife out of the furrow, saying, "The race is over, and as you see, I won it." Did he win? He cheated. He didn't win. Then they both went home together in great delight. And if they're not dead, for all I know, they're living there still. Yes, that is the way the story goes, my children, and it must be true, or how could it be told? Ever since that time, no rabbit in the Buxter Buxterhuder Buxterhunder Heath has dared to pass a remark about a hedgehog's legs. Yes? No? Well, what do you think about it? What do you think about that story where, well, first off, they were mean to each other, which isn't good. And second off, the hedgehog will never be made fun of ever again. But, I guess it's a good story, right? Sometimes you have to think outside the box. He thought outside the box and he outwitted his friend the rabbit, who wasn't really his friend. Alright, baby, let's do Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers 3. And every fiddler had a very fine fiddle, and a very fine fiddle had he. Oh, there's none so rare as can compare as King Cole and his fiddlers 3. Do you have any idea how much I love you? Mamas will do anything for their babies, honey. They really will. I love you so incredibly much. I can't wait to see you. Karina, baby, let's do Lila Tove. Lila Tove, and good night to you. Lila Tove, may your dreams come true. We sing Lila Tove, may Israel protect you throughout the night until we reach the morning light. I love you, I miss you, I can't wait to see you.